Have you ever paused to ask not just what you believe, but why you believe it? Welcome to a journey through 10 of the deepest philosophical questions humanity has ever pondered. These aren't abstract riddles for ivory towers. They touch your life, your thoughts, your choices, your identity. Let's explore. 1. The nature of consciousness. Consciousness is arguably the greatest mystery in both philosophy and science. What is it that gives rise to our inner experience, the feeling of being aware? René Descartes famously said, "Cogito, ergo sum." I think, therefore I am. But what is the thinker? Neuroscience has mapped brain regions responsible for language, memory, and decision-making. But it still cannot explain why we experience the color red or the taste of coffee subjectively. This is known as the hard problem of consciousness, a term coined by philosopher David Chalmers. While some materialists argue that consciousness will eventually be explained by brain processes alone, others believe that consciousness might be fundamental to the universe itself, as panpsychism proposes. Could a machine ever become conscious? If it acts like a human, feels pain, expresses love, is that real consciousness, or just a convincing imitation? 2. Free will versus determinism. Are you truly free to choose, or is every decision you make the inevitable result of prior causes? Classical determinism, rooted in Newtonian physics, suggests the universe operates like a clockwork machine. If we had perfect knowledge, we could predict every action. This challenges the very notion of moral responsibility. However, quantum physics has introduced uncertainty at the smallest levels. Yet randomness isn't freedom either. Compatibilists like Daniel Dennett argue that free will and determinism can coexist, that freedom is about acting according to our desires and reasoning, even if those are determined by prior states. Libertarians about free will, like Robert Kane, insist that we must have genuine alternatives in our choices. So what do you think? Are you the author of your story, or just reading the next chapter? 3. The meaning of life. Why are we here? Some find meaning through religion, a divine purpose ordained by God. Others, like existentialists Jean-Paul Sartre and Albert Camus, argue that life has no inherent meaning, and that this realization, far from depressing, is liberating. Camus wrote of the absurd, the clash between our search for meaning and the silent universe. His answer? Live with passion, integrity, and rebellion against meaninglessness. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, believed meaning can be found even in suffering. His logotherapy focuses on the human capacity to choose meaning in any circumstance. In a secular age, many construct personal meaning through love, creativity, service, or legacy. So, is meaning found or made? 4. The problem of evil. How can an all-powerful, all-good God allow suffering? This is one of the oldest and most potent challenges to theism. Epicurus framed it thousands of years ago. If God can prevent evil but doesn't, he's not good. If he wants to but can't, he's not omnipotent. The Odyssey's attempt to reconcile this. Some argue suffering is necessary for growth, or that free will requires the possibility of evil. Others, like Alvin Plantinga, suggest God allows evil for reasons beyond human understanding. But for many, especially in the face of natural disasters or child suffering, These answers feel insufficient. Atheists often point to the problem of evil as a reason to reject God. But others find faith strengthened by wrestling with suffering, not despite it. 5. Personal identity and the self. What makes you you across time? Is it your body, your memories, your personality? What if all of these change? John Locke believed personal identity was tied to memory. But what if your memories are lost? Are you still you? Derek Parfit argued that personal identity is not what matters. Instead, psychological continuity and connectedness matter more than strict identity. Today, thought experiments like teleportation, cloning, or mind uploading challenge our understanding of the self. If a perfect copy of you exists elsewhere, is that still you? This question isn't just theoretical. It affects ethics, law, even future technology. 6. Moral relativism versus moral absolutism. Are some things always right or wrong? Or does morality depend on culture and context? Moral absolutists believe in objective moral truths. Murder is wrong, period. Thinkers like Kant and Plato rooted morality in reason and forms. Moral relativists point out vast cultural differences. What's considered just in one society may be taboo in another. They warn against imposing one culture's ethics on another. But if morality is relative, can we criticize genocide, slavery, or oppression? Can anything go? Philosophers like Martha Nussbaum argue for universal human capabilities as a foundation for global ethics. The balance between respecting diversity and upholding justice remains tense and unresolved. 7. Existentialism and absurdism. How should we live in a world without clear meaning? Existentialists say, create your own. Sartre argued that we are condemned to be free. With no predetermined essence, we must define ourselves through actions. But freedom can be paralyzing. Camus's myth of Sisyphus illustrates life's absurd repetition and urges us to imagine Sisyphus happy. Absurdism doesn't ask us to despair, but to embrace the lack of meaning with courage. In a world without a cosmic purpose, every small act of love, art, or kindness becomes a rebellion. 8. Reality and simulation. How do we know what's real? Descartes doubted everything, even the existence of his own body, but concluded his mind must exist if he could doubt. Modern versions of this doubt come in the form of simulation theory. Philosopher Nick Bostrom argues it's statistically likely we're living in a computer simulation created by an advanced civilization. If everything you experience is code, how would you know? Even if we're in a simulation, does it matter? Your feelings, struggles, and joys are still real to you. 9. Time and temporality. What is time? Is it flowing or static? In physics, time can be treated as a dimension. Einstein's relativity shows that time is relative to speed and gravity. Some theories propose a block universe, where past, present, and future all coexist. We don't move through time. We are in time, like being on a map. Philosophers ask, is the flow of time an illusion? Why do we experience now? Our sense of time affects how we age, make decisions, and find meaning. What would life be without the arrow of time? 10. Death and the afterlife. What happens when we die? Religions offer different answers: heaven, hell, reincarnation, or union with the divine. Secular thinkers often see death as final, the end of consciousness. Epicurus said we shouldn't fear death. When we are, death is not. When death is, we are not. But fear of death drives much human behavior. It fuels art, ambition, even morality. Philosopher Martin Heidegger believed facing death honestly was key to authentic living. Knowing we will die helps us live more fully. These questions don't offer easy answers, but perhaps the goal isn't certainty. Perhaps the goal is to ask better questions, to grow more curious, more aware, more alive. So, which of these questions will you carry with you? And what will you do with it? Thanks for watching. Stay curious.